Right, stop misbehaving, missus.
Welcome to Fantasy Strike. I'm Master Midori. Let's learn by doing. Pop the balloons by touching them.
Wind summon! Tatsu!
Attack me to advance. Good. There's no dash, run, or crouch, so you already learned all about movement. Attack these sparring partners.
Wind summon! Wind summon!
Attack me to advance. You can only hurt these enemies with the A button. Attack me to advance. You can only hurt these enemies with the B button. The B button is for special attacks. Attack me to advance. You can only hurt these enemies with the C button. The C button is also for special attacks. When you flash white, you're invulnerable to strikes. Attack me to advance. You can summon the wind with jumping C. Go ahead. While the wind blows, your B and jumping B specials are powered up. Your powered-up projectiles destroy enemy projectiles. Your jumping B strikes lightning below. Attack me to advance. When your super meter is full, you can do a super move. Usually your meter fills automatically over time. For now, it will refill instantly. Beat some enemies with it.
Dragon high! Dragon high!
Attack me to advance. Your super in the air is different. It's a parry, so it only works if the opponent attacks into it. Attack me to advance. Your normal attacks with A can combo into special attacks. Just press A, then B. Attack me to advance. Try some three-hit combos.
Hey, little bunny gamer. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Valerie.
I have an idea!
Jaina.
You wanna fight?
Okay.
Round 1. Fight.
Rainbow! 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 Fire! Rain of fire! Rain burn! Acting on!
KO.
I'll
Round
just-
2. Fight.
Little bunny gamer, that's I've just recognised the yacht.
Red Dragon!
KO.
Naomi.
Round 3. Fight.
Rainbow! Acting on! Dragon Rainbow!
KO. Round 4. Fight.
Rainbow! 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 Rainbow!
I'll turn down the volume so I can speak these. Right. How's everyone doing?
KO. Round 5. Fight.
Cool. Yeah, Camp Survivor, thank you for the like. And Little Bunny Gamer, I'm doing okay. More than okay. Because, like I says, I didn't expect anyone to come into the stream tonight.
KO.
Oh, there we go, fundamentals.
Win.
Oh my god, seriously. No one actually reads this stuff, by the way. And that's not what I wanted. Anyone still here? Okay, I'm locked into this screen for some reason. Ah, it's probably trying to buy something, and I've now got my credit card on the debit card on the PlayStation. It's just the way of the world nowadays, you know what I mean? It's like they give you a free game and you're like, oh, look at this. And then like the nice fun stuff's behind the paywall. And it's like, oh, crying out loud. Anyone that comes into this live stream that's new, if you can drop a wee like obviously you have. If you like what you see, drop a wee subscribe on if you want to. Can't stress that enough. I'm just gonna wait here to see what this is doing. Disconnected. Obviously because it's trying to get money off me and there's nothing there to take the money off. Well, my card is not on the PlayStation.
Satsuki.
Can't catch me.
Onamaru.
I'm in command here.
Nice, one step at a time.
Starlight! Starlight! Too fast for ya! Starlight! Too fast for ya!
Rook. Unshakable. Onamaru.
I'm in command here.
Landslide. Checkmate. Buster. Windmill crusher. Windmill crusher. Counter. Landslide. Landslide. Landslide! 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 Jojo! Landslide! Landslide! Windmill crusher!
Setsuki Haruki is a ninja student at the Fox's Den School. She's eager to learn, especially from Grave, and she's incredibly fast, agile, and stealthy. Setsuki is a rushdown character. She has only 5 hit points, tied for least in the game, but she makes up for it with her ability to overwhelm the opponent with speed and tricks. Let's start with her air moves. Her air A, B, and C are Dive Kick, Kunai Toss, and Flying Fox. Her Flying Fox can be done toward the opponent or away, and she can do it 2 times before landing. On hit or on block, she can also cancel it into her Dive Kick or her Kunai. Her bread and butter combo is Flying Fox, Dive Kick, Normal Attack, then Super. That's 4 damage, and it's one of the most practical 4 damage combos to land in real matches in the whole game. There's 2 drawbacks to be aware of here though. She can only do this combo if she has Super Meter, and the Flying Fox move has pretty low priority. So if you really need a high priority attack, it's best to start with Dive Kick and only do 3 damage total. Her Kunai is a great help here though. When she's far, she can throw it pretty safely and use it as cover. This lets her do Flying Fox more safely, and it can lead to a whopping 5 damage combo if the opponent somehow happens to get hit by the kunai. It's possible for opponents to hit the kunai out of the air to avoid damage, but it's still a great way to fish for an opening. Now for her ground moves. Her slide is safe on block, and it gives plenty of frame advantage, meaning she recovers before the opponent. Her neutral AA is a 2-hit series of knee, then elbow. Her knee is one of the fastest moves in the game. Though it doesn't normally combo to elbow, it's still a good pressure sequence, and if you counter hit with the knee, meaning you hit the opponent out of the start of a move, then it really does combo to the elbow. For example, if someone
Hello,
tries to throw you
welcome to
and
stream.
you hit them out of their throw attempt with AA,
How you
it
doing?
will be a true combo for 2 damage. Her double palm, which she learned from Grave, reaches a bit farther than her knee. Characters can't usually cancel normal moves to super, but Setsuki's knee, elbow, and double palm can all cancel to super. Her slide doesn't cancel into her super, but it can still combo to super anyway after the slide recovers, if you hit with it just right. Her ground super, Esper Dash, has come up a lot already. Unlike most supers in Fantasy Strike, this one is mostly for combos. It's not invulnerable to
transferred
start,
over
and one of
a-
Setsuki's weaknesses is that she
a
has no true reversal.
Twitch.
That said, her super does become invulnerable
Bunny.
after it travels a bit, so you can go through projectiles if you plan ahead.
Because I've not seen you on
Setsuki's B is her ninja port. She dashes forward
on,
and hits as she
YouTube
flickers into an
for a while.
invulnerable state. Then she ends with a very high priority kick with a huge hitbox. It's kind of like a dragon punch from other games, but you can only do it after the ninja port. Her double palm combos to the first hit of the ninja port kick for a true 2 damage combo, but it's a bit risky to do because she's then committed to do the big kick at the end, which they might punish. The 2 hits of her ninja port kick don't usually combo, but if you space yourself correctly at the max range of the move, they do combo. The ninja port kick is great at hitting jumpers, and if the opponent doesn't jump, she can hold the B button down to end with a special throw instead. She can generally use this move to cause a lot of confusion and make the opponent question whether they should jump and which direction they should try to block. Setsuki's C button special is Starlight Tumbler. If you hold the C button down, she does a special throw that the opponent has to jump to avoid. Remember, jumps always beat special throws. If you press C instead of holding it, then you can end with either A, B, C, or super. You basically get the same moves as if you were jumping. Ending with A, the dive kick, allows you to keep up your pressure. Ending with B can be useful to change your trajectory, allowing you to avoid things like Rook C throw. Ending with C is great to hit jumpers who are trying to avoid your special throw. Ending with super is kind of a trick shot, but it means the opponent can't simply react with a reversal every time they see your Starlight Tumbler. Setsuki's air super is a parry move, sort of like Graves, but with Setsuki's own flair. After she parries an attack, she disappears, leaving a log in her place. The log can hit the opponent depending on the
Naruto-like.
spacing. Also,
Sweet.
Setsuki teleports to the ground and becomes invisible. You can actually control which side she teleports to by holding left or right. Sometimes she can juggle the opponent for a second damage, but in any case, she can use her few seconds of invisibility to confuse the opponent into taking even more damage. Unlike Graves' air parry super, Setsuki's works even against projectiles. You can even use it when you're full screen from the opponent in order to turn invisible if you want. When you put all these pieces together, Setsuki can take control of a match. She can throw kunais looking for an opportunity to start her pressure. Then she can go in with Flying Fox threatening a 4 damage combo. She can also pressure with Starlight Tumbler and with her ninja port moves, making the opponent feel like she's all over the place. She takes more inputs per second to play than any other character, which is fitting for a character all about speed. Keep practicing and make the Fox's Den School proud.
Sweet. Can you hear me? Whoever's on stream now. Oh, I need to turn up the volume. Right to about there. Ah, is this all behind a paywall? Hold on. Yeah. Hello, Para. How are you? Thanks for the wee like. Ah, solo.
Jaina.
You wanna fight?
Midori. It's an honor to fight you. Round
Yeah,
fight.
it is. It is, Para. They were saying that there would be thunder, but there's none, which is weird.
KO. Round 2. Fight. KO.
Oh my.
Round 3. Fight.
Red Dragon! Dragon Heart! Dragon Heart!
KO.
Okay.
Round 4. Fight.
Dragon Heart! Block this! Block this! Block this! Dragon Heart!
Dragon Buster!
KO.
Oh, ouch.
Round 5. Fight.
I'm definitely going to try that. You need to turn the volume down again so I can hear folk. Alright, okay. No problem, Para. Keep your modding duties. I'll be here for a while, figuring stuff out. But anyway, tomorrow I should have a Rando Nautica video up. It's a new app, basically. It's to do with GPS and all that. I'll explain it more in the video. Hopefully the weather's good enough tomorrow for me to do a Rando Nautica video. It's the latest craze, obviously. Anyway. Sorry, the coffee went down my throat the wrong way. Is that what you worried about, Mrs.? no, no. What the heck? Fair enough. Oh man, I'm gonna have to figure out a balance between sound effects. Should we have them on or off? Off. Or should we have them on? Have them on. Music. Off. Volume. Environment. There we go. Maybe I move off my arm soon. Sitting right there's gonna hurt me.
KO! Round 3. Fight! Counter! Vine! KO!
Jeez Louise. Louise, man.
Round 4. Fight! Head crush! Landslide! Earthquake! Thunder tap! Landslide! KO!
Ow.
You lose.
I love nature. Sorry about that big root guy, reminds me of Android 16 from Dragon Ball Z.
Brave.
Who is my equal?
Onamaru.
I'm in command here. Warrior!
Round 1. Fight!
And conquer!
KO! Round 2. Fight! Counter!
Maneuver!
Counter! KO! Round 3. Fight! Counter!
Divide! Dragon! High!
KO! Round 4. Fight! Counter! 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 KO!
Oh, owie, owie.
You lose.
Jaina Stormborn is reckless, rebellious, and a bit of a show-off. That's exactly why Master Midori taught her archery as a way to instill some patience. She wields a magical bow with an endless supply of flame arrows. Jaina is a strong zoning character, one of the best in the game at keeping opponents away. She does it by creating an obstacle course of flame arrows. Her B button shoots a flame arrow. She can do that on the ground or in the air. On the ground, she can hold down the B button to charge it up. Her level 2 shot destroys enemy projectiles and keeps on going. Her level 3 shot is unblockable. In the air, holding B doesn't charge up her shots, but it does allow her to extend her hang time, which can be helpful. Jaina's Air C shoots a different kind of flame arrow diagonally up, and then it rains down a bit later. The most important thing to know about it is that she can have as many of these shots on screen as she can get. Usually, in Fantasy Strike and most fighting games, you can't shoot a projectile while your previous projectile is still on screen. For example, Jaina can only have one horizontal shot on screen at any given time, whether that's her
Hey,
Air
Nevra.
B or
How
her
you
ground
doing?
B. But she can do Air C
I'm just
shots
learning
in
about the
addition to
characters,
that.
like
And to
watching
amp it
their
up,
little
her
kind
Air
of
Super fires off
videos.
3 of these shots at once, and all of that can be in
I'm
addition
okay.
as well. For example, she can jump C, and then jump Air
Yes.
Super, and then land and shoot her horizontal B
I'm
shot.
good, Nevra.
That's a lot of projectiles at once, and it's also a good setup
Thank
to
you
try
very
and land
much.
her unblockable
Thank you
level
very
3
much.
shot while the opponent is dealing with the rain of fire.
I'm just learning
Jaina's knee, her
how
forward
to,
A normal attack,
like,
has a
fight
lot of
with these
uses.
characters.
She can travel forward quickly with it, and it's a pretty high priority attack. On hit or on block, she can cancel into an air special.
Cheers, Nevra.
This lets her combo knee
I'll
into
make
air
sure I
B
return the
in
favour
2
to you
hits.
next time I
If
see
you
you
happen to hit
streaming.
the opponent out of the air really high up, you can actually combo into another knee and then into air B for 3 damage. Her neutral A is a fast kick that also cancels the specials. Her jumping A is a dive kick with a very shallow angle. She can't really use it to get close
I
to
don't know if
opponents.
you've heard of
If she's already
an
near
app
them, it
called
lets her put together some pretty good rushdown. Her
Random
standard
Nautica,
3-hit combo is dive
but
kick
never,
knee,
I'm going to be
air
doing
B.
a video
She
on it
can
tomorrow.
also dive kick neutral A, ground B.
During the day,
Her
because they
roundhouse
tell you not
kick,
to do it
done
during
with
the
back
night.
plus A, can't cancel the special
For
moves,
obvious
but it
reasons.
reaches pretty far. It lets her poke or sometimes punish things that she otherwise couldn't, because her roundhouse hits faster at long range than any of her other attacks. Jaina usually wants to keep opponents away and make them deal with a lot of arrow shots, but what if they manage to get close? She has 2 invulnerable moves to knock opponents off her, but they each have drawbacks. Keep in mind that even a bad reversal attack is extremely powerful on a solid keep-away character. Jaina's first reversal option is Dragonheart, which is her ground C attack. It's an invulnerable Dragon Punch style move that knocks opponents away. It has slow startup, but even more notably, it damages herself. Yes, really. You have to be very careful with this move, but if you only have 1 life left, it won't kill you, so you can go hog wild at that point. But keep in mind that Dragonheart is completely unsafe on block. Even though taking self-damage is a big drawback, it can be worth it. If the opponent is jumping in at you and you have to choose between blocking or Dragonheart, well, if you block, it lets the opponent start doing what they want to do. But if you Dragonheart, it will damage them for 1, as well as damage you for 1, and it will leave the opponent at full screen. They'll probably have to block your next flame arrow too. That way, you're doing what you want to do. Jaina's second reversal option is her ground super, Red Dragon. It doesn't cost her life to use, but it has an enormously long startup. She has to predict a move quite early to hit with Red Dragon. Jumping opponents can even block it on reaction if she does it too late. It still has its uses though, and it does 2 damage on hit. Jaina excels at filling the screen with flame arrows and forcing the opponent to figure out how to deal with it all. She can vary the timing of her obstacle course to frustrate opponents. If they stay back, they'll end up taking block damage or even get hit by her unblockable level 3 shot as her air super rains down. When things go wrong, can you afford the 1 life to Dragonheart them off you? Can you afford not to? Jaina is a bit of a paradox in that she combines patience and recklessness in her own unusual style.
Brilliant. It was another character what to learn about. Where are they? Man, What's it look? Yeah, look. Lum. Couldn't say. Grav. Geiger. Satsuki. Unamaru. Mostly just learning about China. Argag. I had a bit of trouble with Argag, so let's have a learn about him.
Argagar Garg is a water shaman and
Argagarg.
patient fish, known in his circles for his wise advice, even though outsiders wrongly view the fish folk as a savage and violent race. But they couldn't be more wrong. Argagarg is a zoner, a keep-away character. His long-range attacks and water waves keep his opponents far away, while his poison ticks away at their life. Let's start with his normal attacks. His forward A attack reaches across the entire screen, and you can cancel it to special moves. It's a great zoning tool. His back A punches are short range but very high priority. Have the courage to use this small but effective attack to hit jumping opponents and keep them off of you. His neutral A punch reaches really far, and while it doesn't have the high priority of his back A, the range makes up for it. If you counter hit a jumper, that is, hit them out of the startup of their attack, they'll fall on their back, and you can combo to forward A for 2 damage. Also keep in mind that Argagarg can cancel all 3 of his ground normal attacks into specials. Jumping A is another long-range attack, this time diagonally downward. Argagarg's flying fish moves are done with the B button. He can press B for a blue fish made of water, or hold B for a purple, poisoned version. The poison version is central to his character, so let's cover that first. The poison fish is really large for starters. It also passes through all obstacles. Enemy projectiles or other objects can't stop it. And it's unblockable. Yes, really, it's unblockable.
Okay.
When it hits, it poisons the opponent. They don't take any damage immediately, but they'll eventually take 2 damage from this poison unless they hit you. If they hit Argagarg while they're poisoned, they'll be cured. While they're poisoned, there's an icon of a flask that moves across their life bar. That shows how long until the poison will take away that particular hit point. Notice that if the opponent gets knocked down, or if they put Argagarg into block stun by forcing him to block a move, the flask will momentarily pause its countdown. That's minor though. The main thing to understand here is that the poison fish's unblockable, unstoppable nature forces the opponent to act. They can't just sit there and do nothing. You can also stack multiple poison fish to poison more and more of their life bar. They could be on the hook to lose 6 or 8 hit points if you can keep them away for that long. And that brings us to the drawback of this move. If they hit you within a few seconds of getting poisoned, then the poison didn't actually do anything. You have to be able to keep them away long enough for the poison to tick to harness Argagarg's full potential. Also, the poison fish has another unusual drawback. It doesn't cause any hit stun. The opponent can simply hit you while you're doing it. They can walk straight through it, get hit by it, but then hit you back. So be careful to only use it when it's safe. You get the poison fish by holding down the B button, but if you press and release the B button, you'll get the blue flying fish. This one is made of water, so it doesn't actually deal any damage at all. It does splash opponents on hit and stuns them for so long that you can usually hit them with your forward A attack for 1 damage. And even if you don't hit them with that, it's still valuable to waste their time with the blue fish if they're poisoned. Argagarg's C special move is Rushing River. He summons a river of water that pushes opponents back. Again, this is helpful to waste their time if they're poisoned, and to keep them away from Argagarg regardless of whether they're poisoned or not. He's better off fighting from a distance. While the river is out, you can press C again to summon an orange fish that jumps out of the river. You can hold back, neutral, or forward during that C button press to get 3 different angles of this fish. It's a real fish, not made of water, so it does actual damage. The neutral version of this is great for keeping away opponents and hitting them if they try to jump in. The back version is good at hitting jumpers who are much closer to you, and the forward version is good for applying some pressure. You can also summon these orange fish even while you're doing another move, or while you're in block stun. There's a bunch of trickery you can do with this, on both the air and the ground. Air B is his staff drill. It's a pretty good priority attack that can be used defensively if you jump back into it, or offensively if you jump forward into it. You usually can't combo after it, but you can at least try to pressure afterwards. Air C is his sparkling bubble. This lets him travel horizontally through the air, and you can hold left or right as you initiate it to travel either direction. During your travels, you can press C again to pop the bubble. The pop is invulnerable after a short startup. You can use this bubble even after doing your jumping A punch. That lets you hit the opponent and then back away to safety, or pressure them and threaten a pop if you're feeling risky. You can also combine the bubble with the ground C's orange fish. Do Rushing River, then immediately jump in Sparkling Bubble. As you travel, pressing C will summon the river's orange fish. Then you can choose to pop the bubble with another C button press if you want. For an even more powerful bubble, Argagarg's ground super is Bubble Shield. This summons a bubble around him that you can pop by pressing S again. While the bubble is popping, Argagarg can still move around, block, do attacks, etc. The pop even moves forward with him if you walk. Another really powerful aspect of Bubble Shield is that you can pop it even if you're in block stun. So you can block a move, and while you're stuck in block pose for a moment, you can pop the bubble to hit the opponent out of their attack. Plus, there's another powerful property of Bubble Shield. When you initiate it, the game is briefly paused. This lets you see what the opponent is doing, and it allows you to do the correct response on reaction. It's especially good to do as you get it from a knockdown when the opponent has you in a mix-up. Another property to know about: while Bubble Shield is up, your Air C Sparkling Bubble is powered up too. It travels faster, and the pop of this super bubble has a huge invulnerable hitbox. You'll fall to the ground faster after popping it too. While you're falling from this air super pop, you can do another air move before you land. Try popping the powered up bubble in the air, and then air A for a combo, or pop and then back air C to run away. That said, you will use up your bubble shield this way. That can be worth it since you're building up super meter this whole time anyway.
Very true.
Argagarg's air super, Giant Fish, is straightforward to use because it does exactly what he generally wants to do: push the opponent away and waste their time. It's especially annoying when he combines it with his ground B and C special moves to keep them away. Let's look more closely at some pressure sequences Argagarg can do to keep the opponent busy. When you do Rushing River, you can then spit a flying fish right afterwards, then summon the river's orange fish. Follow up with forward A, flying fish again, and then repeat the sequence. Or you can open with a forward A long punch, cancel to flying fish, Rushing River, flying fish, orange fish, and then air super. You can then long punch them before and after the giant fish hits for a great combo, and then keep up the pressure afterwards. Even on block, this wastes a lot of time and lets your poison damage tick. Argagarg is a difficult character to play, not because doing any of his moves is hard, but because there's so much he can do, and it will all fall apart unless you can zone them long enough for poison to do something. And you have to really know how to get out of trouble with brave uses of back A, Bubble Shield, or just a lot of blocking when you're getting pressured. And you have to take control of the match with maximum obnoxiousness when you're far away. Philosophically, Argagarg believes in defeating opponents through patience, and if you actually have the patience to learn to play him, then you will truly understand him, as his fellow fish do.
That's true. Right, so who should we learn about now? Jefferson D. Gray.
Jefferson de Grey is a lawyer who fights for justice. His primary motivation is exposing the truth, and his primary physical skill is punching. De Grey was granted unnaturally long life by Persephone, and she left behind her ghostly friend to watch over de Grey and make sure he keeps up his quest of fighting tyrants. De Grey's gameplay isn't about rushdown exactly, and it isn't about zoning either. It's about frame trapping, which means making the opponent attack at the wrong times and punishing them for it greatly. Whenever you hit an opponent out of the startup of their moves in Fantasy Strike, you get a counter hit that stuns them slightly longer. But de Grey in particular has a special property. His counter hits cause much more dramatic effects, like wall bounces and ground bounces. De Grey's B button special is Counterpoint Step. He quickly dashes back, then forward again, and he can end the move 3 different ways by pressing either A, B, or C. A ends with Daggerfall Thrust, a punch that's very safe on block and gives a lot of frame advantage, which you can see from the blue symbol that appears on block. B ends with his powerful Tyrant Crusher, which does 2 damage. If you counter hit with it, it wall bounces the opponent and you can Tyrant Crusher again. He even says a different voice line if you do. Ending with C does Justice Kicks, an invulnerable attack that's unsafe on block. DeGray's C button sends his ghost out to grab the opponent. If she grabs them, she won't do any damage, but they're stunned briefly, so DeGray can hit them himself. A good technique is to send out the ghost, then counterpoint step, and simply react to what happens. If the ghost grabs, then Tyrant Crusher. If not, then end with a safe punch, or with no ender at all. Air C also summons the ghost, and can be used in similar ways to the ground C. You can also do some cross-up trickery with the air version. DeGray's neutral A punch can combo to a second hit if you press A twice. If the ghost grabs the opponent when you're nearby, this is a good way to get 2 quick damage. Or you can punch and then cancel the second punch into the ghost summon to keep up the pressure.
Oh, this is a
His
lot.
forward A is a forward-moving shoulder attack that he can cancel into ground specials. His back A ground pound has really long range, and on counter hit, it sends the opponent flying, so you can Tyrant Crusher them. You can actually combo his shoulder attack and then Tyrant Crusher if the ground pound counter hit, which lets him do 4 damage mid-screen, but you have to really work to set up that situation. DeGray's Air B can cancel to a second hit if you press the button twice. This move gives him a lot of mobility, and it lets him chase down opponents if he's far away. He can jump in and go for 2 damage with it, and on block, opponents aren't sure if he'll do 1 or 2 attacks. As an air-to-air move, it's difficult to juggle for 2 damage with it, but on counter hit, it is possible. DeGray's ground super is a parry move called Ghost Riposte. If an opponent attacks into it with a strike, he'll automatically reverse it into a powerful 2-fisted punch for 2 damage. Opponents can throw DeGray if he tries to go for this, and they can hit him with projectiles, but the threat of Ghost Riposte can make it difficult for some characters to attack him. DeGray's air super, Final Arbiter, is a fast, full-screen punch of justice. He can use it to get in, or to sneak in a point of damage that he couldn't otherwise get, but the real dream is if you counter hit with it. In that case, it does a whopping 3 damage, so the fun of this move is fishing for that moment when you think the opponent will do something, and then counter hit them out of it. Playing DeGray has a different rhythm than other characters. He wants to counterpoint step a lot, and send out his ghost a lot. He's fishing for a moment when the opponent does the wrong thing, so he can suddenly do a lot of damage. As a lawyer, DeGray will tell you that his opponents are bound to make a misplay sooner or later, and when they do, he'll be ready.
There we go then. Oh right, he's actually there. Right, okay. Hey, DeGray. Just brown. Oh, I just scratched myself. Oh, that was a bit sore. But I'm fine. Oof. Again, when you accident, you think you bent your toenail back. Oof.
DeGray.
Justice!
Twins.
The Chancellor has arrived.
Round 1. Fight.
Truth!
Counter.
Justice! Ha! Ha! Truth! Assist! Justice kicks! Truth! Justice kicks! Ha! Dagger
This DeGray's like a stand user.
Round 2. Fight.
Because Persephone is like a stand.
Justice kicks!
Counter.
Justice kicks! Of the governor! Justice kicks! Assist! Justice! Daggerfall! Truth! Hello! Seeing double! Justice kicks!
Gray's quite good.
Round
Wow.
3. Fight.
Assist. Welcome. It's my turn.
You just say aura. What the fuck? Let's have a look.
Patriot Mirror. Assist. Jojo. Greetings. Counter. Justice. Ha. Assist. Justice. Counter. Justice kick. Assist. Justice kick. Assist. Justice kick.
KO.
Wow, he's quite good.
Round 4. Fight. Counter.
Counter. Patriot Mirror. Justice. True. True.
Whoa, 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 calm down, man.
Justice kicks. Assist. Reflect. Justice kicks.
KO.
Oof.
Round 5. Fight.
Justice kicks. Assist. Justice kicks. Justice kicks. Justice kicks. Justice kicks. Assist. Justice kicks. It's my turn.
KO.
Sounds like he's saying aura. As in Jotaro.
You
Aura.
win.
Or aura. He's quite good to use though. Hello, Cynical Zombie. How are you doing tonight? Or this morning? Or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. Oh, hey. So done. I thought it was Grey, I thought it was Valerie, I thought it was the fish dude. Or Agag. I thought it was Jana. I thought it was Grave. Geiger, no, not yet. I thought it's her. I thought it's him. Panda dude or Geiger. Geiger first.
Geiger.
It's my time to fight.
Midori. It's an honor to fight you. Round 1. Fight. KO.
Oof.
Round 2. Fight. Counter.
Still learning? Just a moment. Flash gear.
Nice.
KO.
I'll learn how to fight one though.
Round 3. Fight.
Killer David. Smash that like for you. Still streaming myself. Alright, thank you, David. Have a nice stream.
Dragon Buster.
How can you fly inside a house?
Dragon Buster.
Okay, I get it.
Perfect. Round 4. Fight.
And yeah, I'm
Dragon Buster.
trying to have a good stream. This guy keeps spamming moves.
Time for a change.
Human form. Counter.
Just a moment.
Zawaldo.
Flash gear.
Oh yeah, Thomas.
KO. You lose.
Don't make a big deal about it. I just don't know how to use them yet. Panda person.
Plum.
Ante up!
Archigard.
Will patience prevail?
Argagorg. I would not have pronounced it like that, mate.
Round 1. Fight. Counter.
Give me a jackpot! Another steal! Traveling.
Counter. KO.
Panda eat fish.
Round 2. Fight. Counter.
Another steal!
KO.
How the hell did he?
Round 3. Fight.
Give me a jackpot!
Oh, nice.
KO.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Round 4. Fight. Counter. KO. Round 5. Fight. Counter. Counter.
Catch!
Counter.
Give me a jackpot!
Counter. KO.
Slippery wee guy, ain't you?
Round 6. Fight. Counter.
Give me a jackpot!
Alright, okay, Rock. Have a good night. Sleep well. And as ever, stay gold.
Give me a jackpot!
Counter. 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 KO.
How that? What?
You lose.
Fair enough. Aye, right, so that was an easy. Ah, that's embarrassing. That really is embarrassing. I suppose you learn over time, to be honest. Aye, let's learn how to fight by Geiger. Max Geiger is a scientist and watchmaker. He's obsessed with the study of time. Let's find out how to properly use them in a fight.
Max Geiger is a watchmaker, scientist, and logical thinker. His particular interest lies in the study of time and whether it can be altered or even controlled. Geiger is a zoning character who can control the pace of a match. He's also Fantasy Strike's version of a charge character. Whenever Geiger holds forward, he loses his charge, meaning his gear meter instantly empties. It fills very quickly as long as you either hold back or simply stand in neutral. He can't do either of his 2 ground special moves or his air C unless he's fully charged up. So in other words, he cannot walk forward and use those moves right away. Because his 3 gear meter moves have this inherent drawback, they're very good in other ways. His first ground special move is Time Spiral. This projectile gear has an unusually short recovery time, and you can hold the B button down to do a delayed version, where Geiger sends the time spiral slightly into the future. By delaying your projectile, it lets you fully recover by the time it travels across the screen, so you can follow it and threaten combos or block strings. Geiger's other ground special is Flash Gear with the C button. This is an invulnerable attack, and it's one of the best reversals in the game that doesn't cost super meter. He can use it to hit jumpers or simply blow through attacks on the ground. Only the start of it is invulnerable, so try to do it late against jumpers. Your gear recovers quickly enough that you can sometimes throw a time spiral, then flash gear the opponent as they jump over it. Geiger's ground normal moves all have very different purposes. His forward plus A backhand is a long-range, fast poke that can potentially combo after a time spiral. In order to do this move, you have to hold forward though, which means you'll lose your gear charge. That can be worth it because his backhand is that good to
so
poke.
me move it. Right,
His
okay.
neutral A punch has short range, but it can cancel to specials. That lets him combo to either time spiral or flash gear. But remember to keep holding neutral or back or you'll lose your gear charge. His back plus A step kick allows him to travel forward without actually holding forward, so he can advance a little bit while keeping his gear charge. This move has slow startup, but it's extremely safe on block, allowing him to do pressure strings of several moves. If you hit with a step kick, you can combo to flash gear. And if you counter hit with it, that is, if you hit the opponent out of the startup of their move, you can actually combo into neutral punch and then into flash gear. Geiger's Jump A is a long horizontal kick, which is good for hitting air to air and also for jumping in to do combos. His Air B is Phase Out, a move that briefly stops time for himself, but not for anyone else. During this brief time, he's completely invulnerable. He can use it to avoid enemy moves, even enemy supers, and to mix up his timing and his jump arc to confuse the opponent. And Geiger can still attack after a Phase Out on the way down. His Air C is a drop gear, a diagonally downward kick. Like any special move, it triggers block damage. You can use it to start pressure strings that threaten even more block damage. You can use it to cross up if you're close. On hit, you can combo off of it. You can't jump forward and use drop gear because it requires you to have full gear meter. This means it's important to consider your spacing so that you can work in a jump straight up C at opportune times. A nice trick is that you can jump forward and phase out, which takes long enough that your gear meter fills up while you're still in the air. Then, drop gear before you land. This lets you threaten some offense while still keeping your options open. Your opponent doesn't know if you'll do Air C after the phase out, or kick with A, or simply fall straight to the ground. Geiger's Time Stop Super allows him to casually stroll forward while time is stopped. He walks a fixed distance, then automatically does an invulnerable attack. Think of it as a teleport into an attack. The main use is hitting opponents out of moves from far away, such as their projectiles. Geiger also controls the far upper part of the screen, which is exactly where Jaina wants to be. If she jumps to shoot an arrow, he can time stop to hit her, guaranteed. And if a time spiral hits, or is about to hit, he can time stop to combo for 2 damage. His air super, Cycloid Revolution, summons a big ball of gears that tracks the opponent. It takes up so much space that it makes it hard for the opponent to move around while it's out. And as they block and wait for it to go away, it gives Geiger plenty of time to grind them down with gears. Geiger can play a standard keep-away game with projectiles, backhand pokes, and anti-air, but he can also do lockdown sequences and go on the offense if needed. His versatile time stop super gives him a ton of options on offense and defense as well. And as any watchmaker will tell you, it's time to play Geiger.
Man, I must admit he does look cool. I'm gonna try and kinda like learn how to use Geiger a bit better. Setsuke. Okay, I'm just trying to break through. You got attention with this? Right. We'll try and break the microphone, okay? Okay. So as I was saying, I'm going to try and practice with him, Geiger. I'm okay with Setsuki. Getting like cat whiskers on my mouth. He's okay, but I need to see how he does online. He's funny, the gambling panda guy. Rook, he's a bit of a slow one. Yeah. So if anyone's in chat now, if you like what you see, drop us a wee subscribe and a wee like if you want. I'm gonna head off now to Killer David's SG team stream, see how he's doing in Warzone, since he's addicted to it. That's where I'll be the now. If any of you are in the chat the now, just come on over and say hi. But anyway, see you next stream and stay cold. As always.